Hello there, and welcome to another exciting episode of Rate My Noodle. Today, it's one I bought a while ago. It's another new flavour from our friends Nissin. Let's read it. Meat Dashi Udon. It's meat, it's dashi, it's udon. Niku, it's meat. Dashi is like a kind of soup stock made from fish. And udon is a type of noodle. That interests me. I wonder if we're going to have a different type of noodle within. Yeah. Katsuo. Butta to katsuo. I think this is literally just like a fishy thingamajig, and dashi fishy. So it's going to be an interesting taste. When I saw it, I thought it was just going to be meat, but nope, it's apparently delicious fishy stuff. And of course, yeah, you want this for the meat. So I'm interested to see how good the meat actually is. As for the packaging, pretty standard for cup noodle. They don't lose points here. It's clear. There's no weird English on this one, thank goodness. So they get points there. Although they haven't got their usual peel sticker at the bottom. But you don't need it because it's really easy to open anyway. So bonus points for removing that useless feature. Right, let's take off the demon saliva and have a look inside. Ooh, okay. Looks like the standard cup noodle, but minus the shrimp. Let's give it a huff. Wow, it actually smells of a crisp from the UK. I think that smells of like a meaty flavour of some of the Walker's crisps we have in the UK. I don't know which one because I don't really eat them, but I'm reminded of crisps when I smell this. Yep, there's egg there, there's pork, there's noodle, and there's spring onions by the looks of it. Excellent. And your allergy information is printed on the back. It'll probably kill you if you're allergic to any of these things. Yep. It's a pretty standard affair today. There's no sauce sachet, which is fine. The price for this one is the same as your standard cup noodle, around 130 yen. I can't remember. I never remember. So it's an affordable noodle. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Let's make it. Why not? Time to make the noodle. I'll give you a huff report as well, post-watering. There's definitely a more complex smell now that I've watered it. I can't quite describe what that smell is. Oh, it's just umami. It's very Asian smell. That's probably the fish broth, the dashi. Anyway, usual ground rules apply. No pimping to maintain the sanctity of the noodle and the reviewing profession as a whole. And we'll rate it on taste, texture, and tummy feel. I'll come back in 3 minutes. 3 minutes have elapsed. Let's give it a stir on camera. Ooh, yeah, okay. This is interesting. So, my immediate thing that I've noticed is, yeah, they are udon noodles. Usually classified as being thicker and clearer, a more colourless appearance. And these are definitely that. Wow. Okay, I think this is the first time I've noticed that they've used a different kind of noodle in these. So let's taste the constituent parts. First, the meat. Looks a little greyer than the picture, but here we go. Wow. That's probably one of the best meats yet in these cup noodles. Full of flavour. It's definitely absorbed a lot of the dashi, the fish broth, the fish stock there. Very nice. Egg, It tastes good. Definitely absorbing a lot of that flavor. Green stuff. Yeah, the flavor of the broth is permeating everything, but in a non-overpowering way. And yeah, they're definitely like sort of bubbles of oil appearing on the surface of the water, which is usually a good sign. Let's try the noodles. Okay. Udon, udu. That's good. Yeah. Very slightly chewier than your standard noodle, which for me is kind of what udon is. So they've done udon right here. It's presumably thinner than usual for the instant process to actually be instant, indeed in 3 minutes. But they haven't really lost anything by doing that. At least for me, they haven't. So I'm going to finish this and give you my closing thoughts later. Welcome back. This one was very fun, actually. I'm consistently amazed by how Cup Noodle managed to produce something which has a more complex flavor than it has any right to own. Yeah, I've genuinely had blander ramen at a restaurant. So on with the review. As for the taste, the noodles were consistently delicious. They were indeed udon. I've got a piece of seasoning in my throat. Give me a moment. So, and the meat, yeah, good all the way through. And it would appear to be cuts of meat that have been frozen in carbonite. For some of them were a little fattier, some of them were different shape, different size, as opposed to just these cubes of cube flesh. So that's another good thing, which just makes me more reassured that there's less ball bag and eyelids and veins in these chunks of meat. Thank you, Cup Noodle. Thank you, Nissin. The egg and the green vegetables, they really, you could taste them. And the interesting thing about the stock was it flavored everything on a sort of top note level of a little bit of fish. But if you then have a lot of the stock, a lot of the soup, if you just drink a bit of it, it has a very deeper flavor, and you can sense a bit more of a complicated flavor going on with it. So very high marks for flavor. This would be one that I would buy again over the standard cup noodle, which would mean I will have to rate it a 10. Yeah, rather excellent. 10 for taste. As for texture, this one's difficult. As it's a noodle, a cup ramen, I should talk about the noodles first. And yeah, they were different to other noodles. As I said earlier, slightly chewy, as is udon's usual style. So as for texture, full marks on the noodles. The meat, as I also mentioned earlier, full marks there, for they actually feel like real meat, and they didn't just disintegrate like the original cup noodle would sometimes do. The egg was egg, not really much texture going on. And despite the lack of variety of ingredients, it tasted the texture was rather fine. I think it's going to be a 10. Oh, it's a 10. And tummy feel, our last category. Now, I had a bowl of fried mushrooms and green vegetables and some chicken. So I'm quite full. But as for the noodle itself, it feels good, and the flavors really combine well. So I don't feel like it was too salty or too spicy. It wasn't spicy at all, actually. It wasn't too anything. So I think tummy feel is also a 10. Full marks here. I wonder if I've backed myself into a corner by rating the first noodle very highly. But honestly, I just think Nissin really knock it out the park. This is a very good noodle, an affordable price, about £1 by UK standards, which, for a good noodle, that's great. I'm pretty sure the supermarket cheapo brands, when I used to shop, were about 20 to 30p. In fact, in a cup, probably more like 30 to 40p. So, paying more than twice for something with a depth of flavour and texture and seemingly good ingredients, you can't go wrong. So, yeah, this is full marks here. Good price, good taste, good texture, good tummy feel, and as ever, quite a pretty cup. So, thanks for joining me today. Join us next time when we eat the last Nissin cup noodle that I have in stock. Tatty bye. Tatty bye.